I have OCD, and when I started building my first business about 3 years ago, I thought that was an advantage. I set goals that were specific, measurable, and achievable. The kind of goals a business coach on Instagram Reels would tell you to set. A bit delusional, but in a good way. 3 months would pass by, then 6, then 9. But I stayed stuck working 16-hour days for nothing in return. I was disciplined, I did not give up, but I hadn't actually reached any of my goals. And worst of all, I had forgotten they even existed. Now, this happened for 2 years straight, until I started asking myself the harder questions. Why was everyone else hitting their goals around me, but I wasn't? Perfect OCD me. What you're about to watch is a private call inside of our community called The Outsiders. I know, that's funny. Where all of our members have the exact same problem I did. But by the end of this call, everyone knows exactly what they're going to be doing for the next 3 months of their life, and they won't forget their goals. Now, last thing before we get into it, please make sure to subscribe. We're about to hit 100 subscribers. I know, crazy. Anyway, let's get into the call. Anyone have any questions or things they want to bring up before we start?
I think for me, it's like I've never made quarterly goals. I usually just make like a goal for the year. Is there like, so how much of a, like, I'm assuming there's a bit of a difference, right? So like, so I'm saying like, oh, I want to get like 1 client in 3 months. We'll be breaking all the steps on like how to do that then for Q2 or something.
Yeah, if you set a year goal, that goal is going to be bigger, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to involve more steps, right? So in order for that to be tangible and for us to actually do it, we need to then take this big goal and split it up into smaller goals.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can obviously go as far as you want to the day, right? But this will go only like to the week or month. So you have this big goal in mind for the year. You split it up into quarters, then you split those quarters up into months, and you know exactly what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, cool. So I put together a very simple process. It's probably going to take us about half an hour to kind of get it going. But yeah, it will be another one of those sessions where I kind of prompt you guys with questions and you'll fill this out as we go. I'm going to be filling this out as well as we go on, but I've just copy and pasted the link to this in the chat. So if you want to duplicate that to your Notion or you just want to write it down on a piece of paper, it's completely up to you. But once everyone has a tangible copy of that document, we will then start. If you guys just want to leave a thumbs up in the chat once you have the document and you're ready to go. Cool. Chris, all good? Nice one. All right, so we've had 3 months of the year pass by, which is absolutely crazy. It's gone by so fast, and that just shows you how important it is to really, really realign yourself and be like, oh my God, whoa, all this time has passed. I need to sit down for a second. All right, what's the next 3 months of my life going to look like? So what we're going to do, 3 steps. Review Q1, realign why the fuck you're even doing this in the first place, and then set the goals. There's 3 steps. Should take about half an hour. Perfect. Cool. I'm going to go through this step by step. Q1 review. I want you guys to write your Q1 goals just inside of here to kind of remind you. So I'll give you a second to do that. Cool. All right. And in terms of all these steps, if you just got, if you want to press the raise hand once you've completed the step that we're kind of on, that way I know everyone's completed and I can move on. So once that's done, you can do that. Cool. Nice one. All right, Jasmine, I assume that you didn't set Q1 goals, did you?
Not necessarily. The only goal I really had was, posting 3 times a week on Instagram.
Okay, fine. We'll go and talk about that later, about that goal, which I want to speak to you about, but move on to the next step. Nice one. Beach goal. Why do you think you did or didn't achieve them? Be honest with yourself. This only works if you're completely honest. I'll give you like a couple minutes to write this because it might take some thinking power.
Yo, Ronnie, just a quick update. I know we're literally just getting started, so it's good timing. Just over Q2 goals. Rich has got a document that he sent in the chat, so you can just pull that up now real quick and kind of get started. We are basically just reviewing Q1 goals at the moment. So
all right, so now you know the problem. Your goal is just a number. Now you might not like what I'm about to say, but truth is, you don't want 10K a month. You just saw so many people on Instagram talking about it. And I know this because I had to realize it the hard way. I used to set goals of making 10K a month. And actually my second year of entrepreneurship, I made £1,000 in an entire year, 365 days. So if you want more frameworks like this, calls every single week, one-on-one support, click the link down below. Who has finished the question that we're on? Chris, do you want to give me one goal and why you did or didn't? Or either?
The first goal, let me check. So the first one was have a client, which we do not. And I think the main reason we don't have one is because our sales was really bad.
Okay, yeah, cool. Well, that sets us up perfectly for Q2 goals. You're aware of the problem, so That's great. That's great. Cool. Give us a couple minutes out. I know Ronnie has some catching up to do. Zach, what's one goal that you did or didn't achieve?
I didn't get down to 70 kg. That was like a goal for me, to be fair. Sitting at about 72 at the moment. Main reason is because of like halfway through, I kind of changed my goal. Realized that I didn't really want to get lean, so I didn't kind of prioritize it as much. So it's kind of just a thing of like I just set a new goal to just get much better at calisthenics like halfway through Q1. I realized that I just didn't enjoy the process of like there was no point in me getting lean. I didn't really. It's because I got that lean before and I liked it and I wanted to try and maybe keep it year round, but that's just halfway through I just didn't want to do that. So the reason I didn't achieve it is because I kind of changed the goal in a way, which I think is fine. You know, like some of the goals that you set it's okay to change them halfway through that period. As long as you do change them and you don't kind of, now that you've set that goal, you don't feel forced to achieve it, even if your mindset changes throughout that process, whether it's business or just general life.
Yeah, I mean, free will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, cool. Am I all good to move on to the next part of this process? Yeah, Jasmine, we all good?
Yep, all good.
Cool. All right. Second thing, realigning it with your unfinished mission. So, I mean, goals are great, 10K months, more clients, perfect. Nice. What the fuck does it mean? Realistically, what does it mean? We all make money because we want to do something with that money. Whether we want to save it or not, we want to do something with that money. So this is going to help us remember, all right, why the hell are we doing this? And if you've gone through the unfinished mission modules, you will know what this is. But in terms of what your mission is, you can either, let's say if you've gone through the modules, you know what to write here. If you haven't, then your mission basically is what you want to achieve with this business. Why you want to achieve the things that you do with your business. And then once you've written your mission down, did it actually bring you closer towards achieving this? Yes or no? And then I want you to answer why. Why did this bring you closer or why did it not? My mission is to help hundreds of unconfident service providers build a business that, that allows them to become this person who is more confident, who can do the things that they want to whilst providing for their family and traveling the world. That's my mission. Did that bring me closer? Yes. Cool. Chris, what was your mission? Did your Q1 progress bring you closer and why?
My mission was, wait, hold on. I literally just deleted it on accident. Give me a second. I've lost it. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh shit, Johnny's in it.
Yo, boys.
How we doing, mate?
Too bad, bro. Sorry, I'm a bit too late. I was doing something.
It's all good. I'm going to send in the document. We are going through this, setting our Q2 goals. Is that all good?
Yeah, cool, bro.
Chris, mate, how did you forget your mission?
No, I had it written down, but it's quite like a deep thing. So
Okay.
It was, my unfinished mission was to be the person comfortable enough to change someone else's belief. So they can it's okay. I don't really know how to explain it. And if you don't know the context, it's quite weird. It sounds really weird. But I want to basically give guidance to people who don't really know what they're doing, and the people being the people who are my mates. They're they're all pretty much drug addicts. So I'm trying to basically tell them that they could be doing something that they could be living their life in a different way, where they could be more successful, where they could be living it better. But I can't find. I had a proper unfinished mission doc, but I can't find it, and I was going to say it, but I don't know, I've lost it.
That's fine. With that mission then, where does your business come into play with it?
It was okay. So if I could find the doc, I have a whole thing that ties into it. I even sent it in the school, but I can't find it. If I can find it, I'll read it because it does tie into my business as a whole. It was kind of the final goal that I wanted to do, because what I do right now, my final goal was to basically help other people build their own business. So not really what you're doing, but basically give guidance to people so they know what they want to do with their life, basically. And what I'm doing now is a step towards that, so I have enough knowledge so I can give them the foundation to start a business, to do this thing. But it's all that's really down the line. Right now what I'm doing is just so I can, it's a baseline thing so I can make money.
Why is that down the line?
Because I don't know enough. I feel like I just don't know enough about what I do.
Do you know more than the people who you want to give guidance to?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I would want to make a business out of it, and I don't think I have the people who I would want to work with. I don't know, it's still confusing, but that was something I was going to think about way later down the line, I can't lie.
no, that's really good, because this business that you're building right now is the proof for yourself and for other people. The content that you post is also that proof for you and the other people, right?
Yeah.
it doesn't actually necessarily matter what business model you do for your mission. It just matters that you prove that this mission is possible, which is great. And the fact that you're confused about it means it's the right one. I remember when I kind of figured out what I wanted to do or just some idea of it, I just couldn't articulate. I remember me and Zach like struggling to even say what the fuck we did or wanted to do, sorry. And that's when you know, because you're like, I want this thing, but I just don't know how to say it. So, all right, cool.
Also, can I just touch on that real quick, Richard, as well? Like with that mission there, I love that, Chris, because I had a very kind of similar thing with very deep into like a year or two. I was like, okay, I want to realize that I want to help other people just like me, because same reason I've seen my mates not do the same kind of thing from school. Yeah. One thing I will say is like there's never a right time to start, which you already know. So maybe I'm just reminding you, but there really isn't a right time to start. Like, for example, with me and Richard transitioning from service providers to, you know, actually helping people, which is what we both wanted to do. That wasn't really the perfect time, you know, for either of us to actually start Timeless. But it's kind of a thing that maybe you can, whilst you're posting content, you can slowly build up until you then do have that credibility to, you know, build a, you know, free community, make a group chat with people, stuff like that. So yeah, just a reminder then, educating you. But yeah,
100%. And if you can now tie the business that you are currently running to that mission, you're no longer a lead gen agency.
Yeah.
So that's powerful. I want you to think about that, you know, take some time and think, okay, how does my actual business right now, really, how do I say this? Because we have all these ideas about what we want to do. I have so many ideas where I want to take Timeless, but I just can't say them. And that's useless. It genuinely is. Because if you can't tell someone an idea and it's clear as day in their mind, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. That's you, which is fine. But if you want to get that out there because you're trying to help people, it matters. So just to make you conscious of that. All right, cool. Can I move on to the third step of this process? Nice. Jasmine, I'm curious, what was your mission and did Q1 bring you closer? Muted. Jasmine, you're muted.
Crap. Okay. So I didn't really make Q1 goals, so obviously it didn't like help me get to my mission. But my mission is to my mission is to build something stable enough that my family never has to worry about losing the house, the lights, or our lifestyle ever again. And that comes from because my dad owned a supplement store, but it shut down. It had to close down because of COVID. COVID completely destroyed like his business finances, and as a result to that, like all of our finances went down. We almost lost the house. So that's basically my reason for starting this.
Wow. Yeah, I relate to that. COVID fucked my dad over as well. So yeah. Wow. How have you never spoken about that in content?
A little bit of embarrassment, I guess. I don't know.
Why is that embarrassing?
I think what it is so I have family on my Instagram and a lot of them don't know what we went through. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but my family is Punjabi, we're Indians. And with us, it's like we don't want to share anything related to finances with outsiders. And that's kind of been distilled into me. So like doing this whole stuff with you guys has been really like a little challenging on my end. But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. And if you could, you know, let's say no one in your family saw that and you could get this message out to the world of how you're building this business and the reason you're doing it and people follow this, would you document it and talk about it a bit more?
I think I would if I had that like if I just like blocked a couple people, like a couple of my cousins, I think I maybe would be open to it. It would be hard, but like I would try.
So what's stopping you from doing that now? Is it that you don't know why that would be powerful, or?
I think it's more so one, I don't know, like one, I don't know how powerful it would be, and two, I feel like I don't really know how to express myself very clearly. I think that's one of my biggest struggles with content. Like I don't know how to one of the big things that I've heard Zach say about content is to share your story, document your story, because that's one thing people can't copy. But the thing is that I've always struggled with that for some reason. Like I've struggled to like enunciate my story or to like script it out, or I don't know how to say it.
Okay. I mean, what you just said there, you know, when I asked you, Jasmine, what was your mission? And what you said there, like if you literally said that exact same thing, that's clear as day.
Yeah.
Like that was clear to me. I understood that. So maybe it might be an overthinking thing, or maybe, you know, there's obviously a couple different things that are stopping us from doing it. And I just want to say to you, obviously, we can get in depth with this, show up to the content call 100% next week on personal branding strategy. But I just want to say that is fucking powerful. Because once again, just like Chris, you're no longer just an email marketer. You're Jasmine. And this is why it attaches a purpose to what you're actually doing. People understand, okay, fine, she does email marketing, but she's doing it for this. this goal, and people want to see you hit that goal, right? That's
Yeah.
what people want to see. Because if they can relate to that goal, just how I said to you, yeah, I felt the same way. They're gonna watch you. Okay, cool, perfect. That's one.
Just to find out as well, I think it's a pretty good idea in terms of business and actual marketing for e-com brands. Like a lot of people who are building e-com brands at the moment, it's so, especially if they don't have email marketing in place, right? It's so like volatile, right? And there's going to be months where they might not be able to pay the bills, especially the lower level e-com brands.
Yeah.
So it could be a massive part of your messaging in terms of like, I've experienced this, and you know, this is kind of my story with it. I want to help your e-com brand avoid that as well. So we're kind of on the same mission here. Let me partner up, etc. Right? So that's actually also a really powerful message, because I know we were going over headlines before.
Yeah.
That you can also include into e-com and tap into how email marketing brings more stability, so that you can afford to put the lights on and you know, pay your mortgage.
Yeah,
That's interesting. You guys really open up my eyes, actually. That's cool.
that's what we're here for.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's brilliant. As Zach said, you can literally say I've experienced this. Like, that's fucking powerful. Cool.
And for anyone else in the call who's got a pretty cool story of maybe like struggle or pain that they've been through, like personally or business wise, think about how that can potentially link to the people that you help, right?
Yeah.
For example, if you're helping fitness coaches and you used to be out of shape in some kind of way, tie into that, right? Or just anything, right? Like a personal pain struggle story that you can relate to the people that you want to help is definitely powerful, and turning that back into a bit of a loop. So yeah,
100%. That's what's gonna make us stand out. All right, cool. Last part of this process. This is the final part. But I want you to free write for about, I'm going to set a 3-minute timer here. Where's my phone? Oh, there. 3-minute timer. And I want you to write what you want by the end of this next 3 months. Just, there's no direction with this. It's just write the life. Like I've given an example there. You can kind of obviously read over that and how that would be written, but literally no pressure. And I'm going to start the clock in a second here. I'm going to do it with you guys. And the goal with this is just to not stop writing. That's the goal. Cool. Let me pull up my document. Oh, nice one. So I'm going to start the timer in just a second here. Cool. All right, let's do this. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. 3-minute timer is up. Everyone stop writing. I'm going to ask you one by one. Ronnie, how did you find that?
I found it that I was able to like very much like dig into like your brain of what exactly you want. And you want us to tell you what exactly you want, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I put, since it's not money wise, I just put help take care of my parents' rent. Try to pay like half a month, be able to get a driver's license to drive, take trips without having to rely on like other people, having to hit up other people to drop me off anywhere, and try to buy like my nieces and nephews like gifts, for example, like holidays or birthdays that they have, and other stuff I forgot. But yeah, that's basically what I want. I don't know if that's like part of what I was supposed to be, but that's what I thought of, I just put down.
No, perfect. You did it perfectly. So, all right, nice. Chris, how did you find that? Easy, hard, slow?
It's quite easy, to be fair, because I kind of like, well, based on what you told me earlier, I was going to say I know what I want, but now I don't really. It's quite confusing to know what I want, like in terms of my business, but in terms of like things I want that will like make me happy outside of business, yeah, that was quite easy. But in terms of like the goal for my business and like what direction it might take, I didn't even write anything about it. I didn't really know what to write for that bit.
Okay, I will touch back on that in a second. Jasmine, how did you find that?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I found that like I was able to actually like think within myself, like, and unlock a bunch of like potential ideas, potential like actually I feel like now I could actually see my way of achieving my goals, if that makes sense. I feel like I finally have like the blueprint or a plan fleshed out, and I could see how I'm gonna achieve it now.
I'm glad. Okay, perfect. Zach, how did you find that?
good. I wanted to keep writing, to be honest, but I feel like I could have done that for an hour, but it was good. Yeah, still got a lot more. I'm definitely going to finish that off after this call. I think this is like a really fucking good thing to do. So yeah, I wrote down like briefly kind of what I want. So to have the freedom to take spontaneous remote trips to the corners of the world that most people don't see, document it all on YouTube, combined with traveling with my mates, building cool shit in cool places with cool people. To have directly changed 1,000 lives with the skills, systems, and knowledge that I learned the hard way, and to be able to build a product that actually impacts hundreds of thousands of lives. To be able to fully retire my parents, buy a holiday home where I was born, with family and friends, and to be a role model and help my little brother actually find his direction for when he grows up. And there's like a lot more, but yeah, those were the main three that came to my mind.
Fair enough. I mean, those are some big Q2 goals. We've got a lot of work to do.
Wait, are these Q2 goals?
In terms of what do you want your life to look like in 3 months? That was what this specifically is for. But now you've written that, you can actually just
I'm just
break
gonna
that.
engineer that. Yeah, cool. I just thought it was like in general. Yeah.
I was like, mate, I'm sorry, you can do all that work. I don't know
Yeah.
about me.
That's probably why it looks like why I've got a million other things to write as well.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
100%. This is actually, if you guys have been through the unfinished mission modules, on the fourth one, Be Don't Become, this is the exact exercise that we do. I feel like free writing is this untapped place where we don't give ourselves this time to just sit down and actually think. But when you free write and your goal is to just not stop for a certain amount of time, your brain actually, it flushes out ideas. And then you kind of get to this point where, you know, after 5-10 minutes, you're like, oh, I've got nothing. And then you just start writing random shit because you can't stop, right? And then it unlocks this part of your brain which you have not been tapping into for a while. That is the power of free writing. Cool. Johnny, how did you find this?
Pretty helpful. Like, it was so easy to imagine or like picture things that I want or like the reason that I'm working for. But yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right. Now we've got the lifestyle. Now, how much does it cost? How much does this lifestyle cost in 3 months? Might have to do some calculations off the top of your head. Obviously, you can properly get into this after this call. But just as the example there says, like the lifestyle that in this example is like live in Bali, send parents 2K a month, really nice gym, clear skin. So like the costs or inputs, not necessarily costs, but how much the actual house costs. How much, you know, obviously the parents one is in there. The gym membership is a nice gym membership. And then obviously the minimal acne part inside of there is like the input would be eat 4 clean meals a week, right? So what does this cost? And sometimes not necessarily price in terms of money. Maybe it's a different price. You know, part of my lifestyle is content focused. So that cost for me is time, not necessarily money. Chris, have you figured out how much this lifestyle costs?
Yeah, so the goal that, I mean, this is a goal that me and Johnny had before summer. We really wanted to go to 2 places. We want to go to Ethiopia, which is where Johnny's from, and I wanted to go to Spain. So in terms of that, and like actually enjoying ourselves there, we said like around like 5 grand for us to enjoy ourselves there and like everything we want to do. I'd say that much, probably more, but I think that just to get there and do the things that we want to do, just 5 grand.
Yeah, knowing that now, once you obviously know the exact cost of the plane ticket, the house that you're going to be staying at, maybe I don't know where you're staying, like all these different costs, add that up and find the real number, right? Because obviously on this call, I'm not expecting everyone to do that, but for one of my goals, I might be in Chicago in a couple of weeks. I've calculated exactly how much that trip is going to cost me to the penny. So I know what inputs I need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Has everyone done the how much it costs? Thumbs up, thumbs down? All right. And in terms of that also, do you feel like you personally might have to go away and actually calculate these costs like to the dime?
Me?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
I kind of done the math already.
Great, perfect then. Nice one. There we go. Cool. So the point of this is we're not going with money first. We're actually going with what we want first. And then we reverse engineer it from there. Because at the end of the day, if I started with 10K a month, and my goal really was to just live at home, be able to order, you know, food and meal prep, like why the fuck would I need 10K a month? Do you see what I mean? So starting with what you want first. Okay, I want this. This is how much money I have to make. So the last thing that we do is what are the actual inputs that we have to do? So if you don't know, an input is classified as something that you actually do, something you can control, like a message, right? A LinkedIn voice note, a piece of content that you can post. It is an input is not the amount of views you get, not the amount of money that you make, not the amount of, what's another, I don't know, just not an output. It's an input, something that you completely control. You are in charge of that. Now, the best thing about this is you guys should be all aiming for, if you're doing LinkedIn outreach, a 5% booking rate. So you can actually do the maths of how much money you need to make if you're just doing LinkedIn outreach from a 5% booking rate. And then obviously, you know, you can just assume your close rate is around 20, 30%, whatever that is. But you can actually do the math from there. And then now this amount of money becomes just numbers. Like that's it. And then all you would have to do is once you calculate that string of numbers from goal to input, you just have to make sure that you hit those. Because some of us aren't hitting 5% average booking rate, which is completely fine. We just need to figure out why that input isn't working. I'll give you guys a second to write the inputs down. I completely understand that this part of it may not be completely filled out on this call, which is fine because I'm meant to obviously get that process started in your head. I will be back. Chris, are you clear on what inputs you have to do?
Yeah, but I might not have done all of them, but this is just some of the stuff I thought.
Cool. Jasmine, are you clear on the inputs that you have to do for the next 3 months?
Absolutely.
I love that confidence. What are the inputs?
So I put down 30 cold DM voice notes per day.
Okay.
Qualify approximately 50 leads per week. Three sales calls per week, hopefully. And then there's like the content stuff is 3 Instagram posts per week. Organize my portfolio. Complete a Klaviyo certification. It's free. And I think that's it.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, the posting content is an input, right? That's I see a lot of people mess up on content goals because it's very hard to set a content goal in terms of views, followers, etc. I don't recommend necessarily. I recommend like a target. You know, let's say your target is 1,000 followers. Fine, I'm going to try hit that, but the main thing is the inputs. My actual goal for Q1 was to beat my friend Joe in followers, and I actually did that. So it kind of attached a purpose to it, just to say to him, fuck you, I beat him followers. But yeah, nonetheless, yes, perfect. Love that confidence. And now the only thing left to do is just do it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Ronnie, what are your inputs? And yeah, do you know your inputs?
Yeah, so I put book 15 sales calls max, 5 of each of them at 2K per month. Outreach to prospects in more creative ways in terms of like standing out more and also following up with interested prospects as much as I can possible because you know the money's in the follow up and upselling to current clients and also just posting content.
I think with the booking sales calls, reverse engineer that just a little bit more with how many outreaches you have to do. Like make an estimate of your appointment booking rate, 3% or 5%. If that's the case, then let's say it's appointment booking rate 5%. Then 15 sales calls, just do the math on that. I can't do that off the top of my head, but yeah, like just reverse engineer that into DMs and then, okay, like what platforms am I using? Email, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then simply just do that. And that's like the focus every single day, just go a little bit deeper into the actual output inputs to book those calls.
Yeah, it's about 300 voice notes if you have a 5% booking rate. But the reason for that, Ronnie, is because if we say, okay, I'm going to post some content. It's like, what the fuck do I do? Like what do I do? But if you say to yourself, I'm going to post in Q2 36 pieces of content, that's 3 pieces of content per week. And you know exactly what you need to do, right? So that's why we attach a number to it so we know what we're doing. The best thing you can do is be clear on the inputs. It's like one of my inputs being LinkedIn voice notes. It's like, do I just do 1, 1,000? Like what's that? So knowing your input is perfect. Cool. Nice one. All right. Is everyone happy or unhappy? Where are they with this process now? Do they feel like they are very clear with what they want to do in Q2? Jasmine, nice. Chris, Ronnie, Johnny, how did you find this?
Yeah, it helped a lot. It became a lot more clear on what I should do next because I'm doing outreach and I need to do more. Not just that, but my main focus would be on content specifically. I mean, I'm pretty much maxed out my outreach potential on Instagram. Otherwise, I'm going to get banned or like a shadow banned, But when it comes to content, I can do significantly more. So I've just put a goal of posting about 100 short form pieces in the next quarter, in the next 3 months, and about I haven't put a certain number for long form, but yeah, make long form content as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, go on.
I was just gonna say like one thing with inputs as well, which might be worth like doing is. I know a lot of us have been doing outreach for, a good few months, right? Is if we're just going to repeat that process, we're going to get the same results. So alongside the daily inputs that we want to do, look back in Q1 and think a little bit like what you said, Ronnie, with changing your approach a little bit. What can I change? Because if we just do the same inputs that we have done in Q1, we're going to get the same results. I imagine everyone on this call wants different results. So go back and look over your outreach, your sales calls, and the content that you're posting. Genuinely look back on those things and give yourself very constructive criticism on those things and be like, okay, what can I do differently? Or what can I at least try to do differently? I might not know it's going to work, but what am I going to try to do differently? With your LinkedIn voice note, am I going to change the scripts for it? Am I going to start sending Loom videos instead of VSLs? Am I going to make my emails more personalized? With the content I'm posting, am I going to start more? There's so many different things, right? But the main thing there is, like I said before, is don't just do the same inputs as Q1 and set these as daily thing. Otherwise, we're just going to get the same results. So focus on actually changing what we're doing in order to get different results. It might not be perfect. It might not actually work, but you'll never know if you don't actually try and change your things. Sales calls. Go back over all the filings that we have and, look over your sales calls and be honest with yourself. What can I improve there? So yeah.
Yes, that point right there is, yeah, you do the same things, we're going to get the same results. Simple. Literally the most simple thing. I think the biggest thing that us as young entrepreneurs forget is the simple things. Like all these quotes and all these mindset shifts and all these different things that we know them, but we just forget them and don't follow them. We look for something new. So that right there, Zach, perfect. Love that. Yeah, I've got nothing to add. If you guys have any questions or just anything you kind of wanted to bring up during this call, that is all good with me. Other than that, I hope you guys have gotten clear on your Q2 goals.